Hello, hello. Welcome to the Greatness Game. Happy Friday. Hopefully everyone will come with a drink in your hand, get some inspiration, get some connection. I love Katy Perry. So welcome to the Greatness Game. Hopefully you can read that. Yesterday I had it backwards on my phone. So if you don't know, my name is Dina Patton, and I am the owner of the Greatness Training and author of the Greatness Game. And my commitment to you is every day at 7 o'clock for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be here loving you, pouring into you, connecting with you, inspiring you to lead yourself, lead your family, and lead your company out of this, what we're going through. So what is so awesome, I had so much feedback from last night. We got into some really great smallness versus greatness conversations and training. And I promise you, it is life-changing when you step into your leadership and step into your greatness. So this is the thing. Why I'm doing this is because your future needs you. Your past doesn't need you. Right? Your future needs you. But so much of our mindset and so much of the stuff that is going on with us comes from our past, and it wants to pull us back there. And where we're going, your future self needs to be set up to win. So good. Hello, Deneen. Welcome. So I'm so excited to be doing this. I love that so many people watched it afterwards. I just want to help as many people through this as possible. So whether you are leading your family or a company or you're an employee, everyone is really, really important. And your mindset and your leadership, like how you are showing up, is super, super important. So, hey, Adrienne, what? Nikki in the house. Nikki, I love you. Thank you for this t-shirt. So Nikki owns a restaurant, Asian Mint in Dallas. So if you, 4 restaurant locations, an amazing client of mine. And her saying is feed your soul. She doesn't just want to feed your stomach. She wants to feed your soul. So she sent me a dinner packet with a t-shirt in it today. And I was like, I'm going to wear that on my live. So I love that. So Nikki, I love to all of your employees and how you're leading and everything that you're doing out there in Dallas. And I wish I was there to eat more of your food. So we have to support our local restaurants, right? And if she's someone you want to follow, someone that is leading with intention and greatness, all of her locations and her employees. And that's really what it's about right now, is showing up, being intentional. All right, so last night, what we talked about was smallness versus greatness. It is literally the distinction that is at the core of all of my training, because it is where all of our actions and our results come from our feelings and our mindset, right? So our emotions actually then influence our mindset then influence our actions, and our actions, influence our results. So welcome everyone. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome, Francesca, I think. So welcome you guys. Welcome to the Greatness Game, where you're going to leave inspired and empowered. So we're talking about last night. So it's really important that you have your feelings. Everybody say, have my feelings, but don't be your feelings. We have to have discipline around our feelings. And it's really hard when big, hard stuff comes up, right? Whether that is something like this, or it's a divorce, or it's a disease, or it's a death in our family. Hard stuff is hard to get through. But one of the big reasons why it's so hard to get through is emotions can take over our mindset. And then our mindset takes over our actions and our results. And we just create kind of a shame cycle. So, hey, Diane, I love you. Mwah. All right, so another amazing leader and past client who's in the makeup industry. I love you, Diane. I wish I could have you over every day to do my makeup, but we can't. So, all right, so here's a couple tips from last night, because I got so many emails afterwards, and I want to just give a little bit of love of what we talked about last night before we move on to tonight. And this is the thing. The big distinction is between your greatness mindset and your smallness mindset. Your smallness mindset is based in disempowerment, fear, doubt, and it feeds you those kind of messages, which then, right, when you are in that kind of mindset, what kind of actions are you taking? And then what kind of results are you getting? So the discipline is watching what you're thinking, watching what you're feeling. So when we have hard, scary feelings, can we honor those feelings? I'm scared right now. Have those feelings. We're human beings. We need to have those feelings. But can we have them, like pack them in your purse, pack them in your backpack, have those feelings, honor those feelings, but don't become those feelings. It's a discipline, right? You are not your feelings. So it takes mindfulness, it takes awareness of saying, well, I'm really bored right now, or I'm really nervous right now, I'm really scared right now. And being able to have some coping mechanisms, people in your life you can talk to, journaling, dancing, praying, there's all kinds of ways that you can process those feelings that are really powerful. But this is where we go into a dark circle, a dark place, is we allow those feelings to become us. And then we have no distinction between us and those feelings. We become that. So discipline 1 is have discipline around your emotions and identify it and be able to honor it and process it. Okay. Anytime I'm nervous, like when I'm speaking in front of a big crowd or doing something that's really outside of my comfort zone, I always pack my fear with me. I'm like, come on. Because the more you resist, the more it persists, right? So I pack it with me. I'm like, all right, I got my fear. Here it comes. So it's really important to have those feelings, but just not become those feelings. So welcome. Rick, Tristan, Randy, welcome to the greatness game. All right, so there's 2 more things in this emotional piece so that we can start to master our greatness mindset and start to turn down that smallness voice that keeps derailing us and disempowering us, okay? That's the key. The whole training is how to master a greatness mindset so you have access to your full power and your full potential. Could you imagine if we just heard our greatness mindset all the time, we never heard smallness again? That's the training. That's the discipline. So the second thing around this discipline, because this is something that I practice all the time, I coach all the time, is the 5-second rule. Is when you have a disempowering thought, when you have a smallness attack is what I call it, and you're like, wow, I'm overwhelmed. I want you to adhere to the 5-second rule. The 5-second rule is in 5 seconds, you've got to get in positive action and turn down that smallness. So there's been some TED Talks around this. There's scientific, loss of words. You know what I'm talking about. There's evidence that 5-second rule, when you have that hard feeling, when you say, I can't do this, I'm too stuck, or I'm too broke, or I'm too broken, right? Those are the kind of things that paralyze us, and we have no access to our power, and we have no access to action. So we discipline it, we turn that down, and we have 5 seconds to get into some powerful, positive action. It can be anything, right? So that's number 2. And then the third thing is something that I gave you guys to do as homework last night, and that is a stop and start list. So 3 behaviors or habits that you're doing right now that keep triggering smallness, keep triggering fear, keep getting you stuck there, right? So I want you to, when we identify it and name it, we can tame it. So those behaviors that aren't serving you, that are not serving your greatness, that are not serving your plan and getting you out of this powerfully and purposefully. Okay, so last night's challenge was list 3 behaviors or habits that don't serve you anymore, totally tied to smallness, and that you're going to stop, and 3 behaviors or habits that you're going to start, that are powerful, that are purposeful, that are intentional, that are greatness, that are something that's going to move you forward. Okay, so All right, so that was all last night. You can go back on my Facebook page and watch that. It was, great content around that specifically. So now that we understand that our mindset is really the essence of any result you want in your life, it starts in mindset. And any book is going to tell you that. So the power is you mastering your mindset. And that's something that no one can take away from you. No government, no job, no employer, no one can take away your mindset. No one can take away your faith. No one can take away your training. There's so much in you that can lead you out of this powerfully and purposefully. But we forget, and we get triggered in smallness, we get triggered in fear, and we get triggered in victim and helpless, right? So that's not a powerful place, and that's not what, I'm not here to coach your guys' smallness. I'm here to coach your greatness. And all of us to get out of this place purposefully and passionately and powerfully. Okay, so hopefully this is not backwards. So hopefully you can read that. Will someone tell me if you can read this correctly? Is that right? Because last night I had the phone on backwards. Okay. Naya, I love you. Ron! Mwah. Hello, Lindsay. So welcome to the Greatness Game. And I'm going to give just a little bit of training around tonight's subject is about having a plan. And it's easier said than done. But this is what's really important. One of my clients is a past principal. He now coaches principals around the country. And he had a saying, especially in times of crisis, called protect, direct, and order. And I just love that. And what it is protect. Whether you're a mother or a father, or that you're a CEO, you're a leader of your company, you need to make sure that your family or your employees are protected, right? That they know that they're going to be okay and that they're protected. That narrative of protection, right? That's where you want to start, that empathy. The second piece is the direction, here's the plan, right? And that's where I think where everyone is right now is like, we can't make a plan. I don't know my plan. But what I can tell you is this. My plan for this week was this. I made just a little bit of a plan. I made a workout plan for myself, little 20, 25 minute workout plan, found who I wanted to follow and how I was going to do that. Second, I made a little bit of a curriculum plan for my daughter so she wasn't sitting around bored all day long. So I took her 6 subjects and we created a little bit of curriculum around that and we created that plan. Okay, so I had a workout plan, the curriculum plan, and then I got in action around my clients and what I was going to do with my clients and for my clients. That's all. Like, those are 3 little plans I said just for this week. So what I want you guys to do, tonight's point is have a plan. When we don't know where our eyes go all over the place. We can be very pulled in different directions and we lose our power. We lose our focus. So when we're coming from a greatness mindset, we set our eyes on a plan. Today is Friday. I accomplished those 3 little mini pieces of my plan this week. I didn't know how it was going to go on Monday, right? But I said, this is this week's plan. We're going to see how it goes. Next week, I'm going to add to that plan. So one of the biggest things that I want you guys to do is not make your plan out of smallness and fear, but from your power. So maybe you need a financial plan right now. Like, sit down and know what's coming in, what's going out. Let's redo our budget and get clear so that your head is around your money, right? And so that's a really important plan to put in right now. If you have children, what is their plan? We're going to be right in this for 2 to 4 weeks. So maybe there's some fun things that you can do with your kids. Now, if your kids are in middle school or high school, they can find their own curriculum. And a lot of schools are putting resources on their website. So you don't have to do a lot of work. You can assign that to them. You can say, I want you to find different resources for your different classes. So empower them, right? So this is really important, this distinction, permission versus empowered. And this is something, a personal story for me. When I went to write my book, The Greatness Game, a few years ago, I gave myself permission to write the book. I mean, I wanted to write the book, but I wasn't empowered to write the book. So there is a distinction between permission, like maybe you're giving yourself permission to do something, but you're actually not empowered. And this is how you can tell if you're not in action. So if you're not in action around something, whether it's your health, it's your marriage, it's your kids' curriculum, it's your business, your systems in your business, your leadership, it doesn't matter what piece of your life you are in right now that you're trying to create action. If you're not in action, you're not empowered. You're disempowered. That is the number one telling signal that I know someone is disempowered, is they're not in action. We don't take action when we're disempowered. So you might even want to do something, like I wanted to write my book. I wanted to do it. However, I wasn't empowered, right? There were things missing for me to really step into my power and own it and take action. So that's what I want you to chew on tonight is, what are the actions that you need to be taking right now? What are some plans that you need to be doing over the weekend? And again, around home or business, career, your leadership, that you feel like you're procrastinating on, you have some fear around, it's scary. And you're going to turn up your greatness mindset and you're going to look at that and you're going to commit, I'm going to make a plan around this. And look at, if you're not empowered with it, you're not going to do it. You're going to procrastinate. Okay. So the question then is, what do I need? What do I need? Is it information? Is it a friend doing this with me, or my husband doing this with me? Is it information I'm missing? There's something missing that if you had it, you'd be empowered and you can move. So that's the lesson tonight, is get empowered, get in action, and move. That's what's going to move you out of this, out of the fear, right? This is not fun for anybody. However, we can do it powerfully. We can do it purposefully. We can have a plan around, what I've heard so many people saying, you know what, I'm going to home workout and I'm going to get in shape, or I'm going to organize my house. I'm going to use this time. I'm not going to let it use me, right? So I would love to see in the comments, what is one thing you've gotten in action around? What's one accomplishment or something? It might be around your family, your business, your finances, your greatness, something that you won at this week, an accomplishment. So put that in the comments. I want to see what you guys are accomplishing. I know for me, I cleaned out my garage last year. I actually cleaned out my whole house last year. I did an organizing year, but I left about 20% of my garage, and it had a whole bunch of paperwork in it, and I just did not want to deal with it. And that's a project that I tackled and I got done, and I'm super excited. So that's one accomplishment. And let me tell you, is wins beget more wins, and those beget more wins. But when we stay scared and hiding or withdrawn, disempowered, we don't take action. So if you're watching, Connie, Michelle, Kimberly, Naya, Ron, if you're still watching, I want to hear one thing. What's one accomplishment that you made this week? One thing in your life or your business. And I want to just look at this. So one thing that you accomplished this week. For me, I think that the curriculum with my daughter, that worked. My daughter, I don't know about you guys, but I have kind of a stubborn, independent middle schooler. So she doesn't want me over her shoulder every minute, barking at her or even teaching her. So I really allowed her to be empowered around her own curriculum. I just don't want her sitting watching TV for 10 hours, right? So that was a win. That was a win. Organizing my garage was a win, right? Anything that's going to move you forward. So this is the challenge, is I want you guys to do 1 week, so next week's plan. Put some achievable greatness gains in your week. What are you going to do next week that's going to be powerful, that's going to be greatness, that's going to come from your greatness, that's going to move you forward and not backwards, right? When you are out of this 6 weeks from now, even 2, 3, 6 months from now, you can look back on this time and say, yeah, I got some stuff done, and who you've become, the leader you've become, right? This is such a great time for online training if you want to learn something. All right, so that is the challenge, is get a 1 week plan of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 things that you're going to accomplish in the next week that is going to move you forward, and you're creating that plan from your greatness. All right, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Remember, turn that smallness down. You have 5 seconds when you hear that disempowering negative message. You turn that down, get in positive action. All right, that's a practice for the next 30 days that will change your life and lead yourself out of this with a weekly plan. All right, I will be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock for the greatness game. And tomorrow night, we are going to talk about the juiciest, one of the most important things that is going to create a lasting impact in your life that I'm telling you, it will rock your world. It's simple, but it will rock your world. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.